Thank you for joining us for our alumni webinar series. My name is Dr. George Boak. I'm an Associate Professor in Leadership and Innovation in the York Business School. I have been asked to host this webinar as part of York St. John University's alumni series, Alumni Journeys, Creativity, Careers and Community. Before I introduce today's speaker, there are a few housekeeping matters. We'll be hosting a question and answer session at the end of this talk. The questions have been prepared in advance, but if you have any questions you would like to ask the speaker, please email alumni@yorksj.ac.uk and the team will pass on your questions. There is also an auto transcript appearing during the talk for increased accessibility. However, please be aware that it may not translate perfectly. Thank you. I would now like to introduce you to Luca Collina. It gives me great pleasure to do so. Luca graduated from the MBA Management Consulting Program in 2021 with York St. John University and the Robert Kennedy College in Switzerland. Luca is the founder and director of Trans4Age, a company providing solutions to business organizations by helping them to get the most in digital transformation and artificial intelligence adoption and implementation, considering transformations with an organizational and cross-border culture and putting the human element at the center. In the last 12 months, he's developed a personal brand as a thought leader, publishing insights and opinion articles in academic journals and business magazines. He is currently a columnist with the World Financial Review and European Business Review, and recently he has been shortlisted for 2 of his papers by the Centre of Management Consulting for Excellence, and they have been shortlisted for awards in the category of consultancy and technology. I'd now like to pass you over to Luca, and I look forward to chatting with you later on.
Okay, thank you very much. What can I say? This is a special occasion now to review what's happened to me during the MBA journey. And what can I say now after 3 years? Yes, is that this experience helped me to think more critically, indeed, and also in a more strategic way, helping me to further improve my ability to connect ideas and create practical business recommendations. What can I say more is that the MBA with its modules and the background, the readings and so on, helped me to further focus on transformation. Considering the elements that were covered in MBA, let's say change, innovation, consultancy and strategy, helped me in the way to start a new adventure with the first innovation technology in 2022 before artificial intelligence boom, and working with the 4 medium-sized companies in the B2B sector. And this was amazing because I approached with the how do you say, the continuous learning, but using what were my enhanced skills after the MBA, and reach a point where I was perfectly confident to advise and guide the companies through this robotic process automation without coding. And recently, looking at the offers for training employees, senior managers, and executives, I have seen that there were a lot of logical gaps. I made some research, always because I learned through the MBA, and I focused my ideas of creating a course in artificial intelligence and business based on what I learned in the MBA. Gaps for practice and also for theory. This is a critical thinking. What I can say, I remember this with the pleasure, is that I was so excited to start this MBA for two reasons. Firstly, when I was younger, I wanted to enroll an MBA in the most prestigious university in Italy, Coney, but my parents told me that it was too expensive, so we didn't have the financial resources helping me to support me in this MBA. So when I started this MBA, the first thing that I did, I read two or three books 2 months before the starting of the first module. That was, according to my wife, insane because you don't know what I am speaking about yet. But I went through my enthusiasm, and that is a starting point for me. And considering that I started in this way, and during the MBA, I developed, I think, a personal continuous learning approach. Because it's not standard, depends on people, attitudes, capabilities, intelligence, and so on. And now I am, let's say, comfortable to know that I have a background from the MBA. It's not only topics, because topics are changing because of technology, because of economical and political situation, but the methodology that I can use to survive and excel in what I am doing, and also proposing something new. I hope that is enough with my enthusiasm and saying thank you to the opportunity that I had with York St. John University.
So thanks very much for that, Luca. I've got some questions for you. Some of the things you have already touched upon slightly, but I think it would be very interesting to hear you elaborate a little bit more on these things. First of all, about coming back to study. You came back to academic study after a period away from it. What advice would you have for other people who are contemplating doing this?
Uh, for my son, is to find a purpose, not because you need to get a postgraduate diploma. Okay, so the purpose is based on what you think that could help you in the future. Doesn't mean that is correct, is perfect, because the curiosity helps you to go ahead, discover something that you like or not, and this can shape your approach in studying. Studying is not a static activity. Your brain needs to go ahead. The rest is to be confident that what you do can or can't have an immediate return, because my philosophy, both my parents and my grandma, was things happen when you're ready, and when the right time is for you and for the people that you need to interact. Oh my God, it always happened to me. This is philosophy of wisdom. Prevent you to say, I want to finish the MBA and now I need to find another job. I need to earn money. Are you ready? Okay, so the opportunities come to you because you're ready and other people are ready.
Thanks for that, Luca. What can I ask you? What transferable skills you think you developed from doing the MBA?
Okay, the first one that was reminded to me by my tutor at least 1 million of time was the critical thinking. Okay, that was the best mental approach that you need to have for everything that you go ahead and through. And another transfer of skills is to think strategically with the critical thinking, because you need to see where you are heading yourself or your clients. Because this is simple. It's not you need to propose a service, okay? Even if, but you need to think with the staying in the fate of the client. So what is the strategic thing that I think he can manage, or I think that he can understand? And that is another critical thinking approach where you help them to cover the gaps.
Okay, and I know that one of the things that you and I have talked about in the past has been about a good understanding of culture, organizational culture, and national cultures also. And
Yeah.
that too, of course, is part of the MBA. Would you like to say a little bit more about that?
Uh, yeah, sorry, I forgot it because a lot of time has passed. Um, Culture is the most important element that is misunderstood. Okay, it's not fault to anyone. If you don't go through the analysis of organizational culture, you are missing a lot of mechanisms, not the notions. And connected with the national culture is for me a real life experience when I worked for 2 years with the Italian company, the first one that I worked for, a Chinese subsidiary, and a Tunisian subsidiary. What I did was pick up some concepts, try to connect the dots, and shape my communications by email. That is the start point. And then to adapt the national culture to organizational culture, because I couldn't impose the Italian culture there. But the values, yes. So we thought about, we started from different values, okay, that are based on the national culture. And then we move to find a sort of adaptation and a sense-making approach for them to say, okay, I got what you mean. Did you get, sorry, what they want? So comparing without judging and removing bias, that was the most simple way to understand 1, 2, 3, 6 points. Why we need to change, why we need to change this approach, what are the results for you, and what are the results for the parent company. In the end, the results for the business that can help you to survive, pay the salaries, and be the protagonist in your market, local market. Yes, that is the best ever experience that I got because it shaped my mindset. I spend a lot of time to read, quickly skim Chinese business etiquettes, Arabic business etiquettes, Tunisia, put together with Italians, and find some possible connections and changing the communication style. That is, it opened my mind.
So an understanding of culture in that situation, which could have been chaotic given the different
It
cultures
was,
that were represented, enabled you to come to a greater understanding of where other people were coming from and to help them to communicate with each other and with you.
yeah, it's true. Because I got the fundamentals, the principles, national culture regardless. And then you compare with their culture. The Chinese culture is still, I think, one of the ancient surviving since a million of years, okay? Because they didn't
Sure.
change. The respect for the elder people still, fantastic. But
Yeah.
now I can tell this, but during the process, it was very stressful.
Yes, I'm sure. I'm sure. Um, so the MBA can help you to learn about strategic thinking. It can help you to learn about how to interpret cultures. But can I ask you, what did you learn about yourself while you were completing the MBA?
That I, based on the experience that I had, so it's not a fault, I was missing the reflection point. So when you work as a consultant, you need to decide and make a decision quickly, okay? Because I can't go, sorry, I need to reflect. Instead, I discovered that everything that I did from the research, from the topics, from the fundamentals, even if they weren't asked in the assignments, was to shape my mind to be more reflective and then accelerate this process. It's like when you plant some seeds, new. There is a new plant. Give time to grow, and then you can see the results, and you use that plant for cooking and so on. So it's something that is overarching. The knowledge that you get during the MBA, and also the knowledge that you're going to acquire during the years. So that's changed my view of problems, solutions. And this is the reason why now I am preparing this course based on perceived gaps on which I have reflected on.
Yeah.
Because simple. That is the personal growth.
Let me now turn, if I can, to what I know that you're very interested in and what you're working on, which is that area of artificial intelligence. What impact do you think that AI is having on business at the present, and what do you see as being the benefits of incorporating AI in business models for companies and for corporations in the near future?
Okay, the future is still far, not because it's not possible to think about the business models, but before, because there are, from some statistics that I have elaborated from the Big Four and the Gartner, that is the most famous authorities, there is the 48% of companies that are still trying to understand what is the value, why we're doing this. Okay, if we do a step back, it's not easy, I understand. Step back, there are already 29% of companies worldwide. I can't remember the numbers and the statistics, but let's use the percentage because they can help to have a dimension that already completed a big journey from the adoption, pilots, and production. So it's good connecting different departments because in the end, if you work vertically, it's fine. But in the end, you need to put it all together and exploit the synergies that you can have. Mostly for a company is not only to save money or reduce cost, is the decision-making process that is semi-automatic now. Doesn't mean that you need to trust, but if you say, I want to have a conversation, a meeting, strategic meeting about one, two, three, four scenarios, and the system propose you one, two, three, four, five, I don't know, possibilities and a strategic approach that is gold because it helps you to reflect, critically analyze, and say, no, no, no. So it's always under human control. It's scary, I know. Then you can think about the Skynet of metrics, that they can make decisions on behalf of the humans. But this is what we are heading because time and quality of the data. And maturity levels of upskilling is another element, something that is not really great because the starting point is where I train my people. If you don't know the value of the goal, it's that you follow the free courses.
Yeah.
Then from free courses, what is next step? People, I read somewhere people using for tailor emails or summarize documents, critical analysis. So, these are good for the workers, okay, because they save time, but they don't use the time that they save for more valuable tasks because there is no one that is able to tell them. So we needed to go through a period of growing. And then when the people are used, understand what are the outputs and how to manage, then you can play a video game with all the new business models because you know how to ask scenarios, firstly, to attempt to predictive analysis, but everything is, let's say, careful handle because you need to use your brain. So it will be a moment where some early adopters of systems already mature will try to disrupt their business model or amplify. I don't know. So there are a lot of options. There is not anymore the canvas. The canvas is something that I think, idea, will be modified because there are some mobile elements that can shift. So you need to understand that you're not filling the canvas, or you ask them to fill, you ask it to fill 100 canvas
Yeah.
and make the solution visible. Say, well, this is because of criteria, priorities. You have this. So for this part is the funnest part and is the cool part. But still,
I've
we have time. We
we
have
have
time
time.
now because we are learning.
Yeah,
Only
sure.
learning.
I've a time related question to put to you, actually, Luca, which is this. I've read somewhere, and I'm afraid I forget who wrote it, but someone said that AI is like many other new technologies in that people tend to overestimate the short-term impact it will have and underestimate the long-term impact it will have. I don't know if you agree with that.
No, no, absolutely. Some articles that I wrote was based on my anger that people are still following the hype. Okay, there is a Gardner hype curve. It's so clever. And there are other people like the venture capitalists that try to speculate. Those are the subject that are influencing negatively the expectations for the short term. Executives wanted to cover their shoulder, and we can carry on for a lot of things. So there are a group of people that subject that are following for different scopes than to use and make artificial intelligence sustainable that are driving all the others. Sustainability is we need to do
Yeah.
because if I can make it sustainable, I can also expand.
Yeah.
right? Otherwise, I know it's rubbish.
Yeah,
Oh, it's a bubble.
yeah, 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 absolutely. Thank you for that. That's really, really interesting. I did want to ask you those questions about AI because that's very much what your business is about and what your interest is about. If I
Mm.
could take you back to the MBA program for one final question,
Yep, please.
Luca, it would be this. What's your favorite memory from undertaking the MBA?
Okay, I don't know if it's appropriate, but the best memory that I had, because I had the 3 modules plus dissertation, was the not discussion, the yeah, discussions with my tutor, because he educated me to understand what was the feedback from the middle term and how I need to think about it, and to reflect more without giving any answer. And reading between the lines in the forum with Ted Thompson, and spending also 2 days to understand what he's looking for. That shaped my mind. Using critical thinking and so on. That was, I think, for both some moments that we both had fun because he was looking at me that I was struggling, but at the same time he looked at the progression until the dissertation. So for me, this is the best experience, human experience ever, connected with the MBA.
Tremen-
Fantastic.
Tremendous. Thank you very much. Would you recommend other people undertake that program?
Yes, but people that they need to clarify, as I said before, their mindset, what is your purpose?
Yeah.
What do you think that reading the modules content you can get and go ahead? So there is a personal work, especially in this period, this age, that asks young or seasoned professionals to think about what you're going to do. And the first element is like the vision for companies, simple vision, and then find the connected to the purpose. We had the experience during COVID that sunk business reached the success because they find the purpose. And people from the other side, customers, perceive this. So do yourself, because when you finish an MBA, you must be ready not only for the knowledge, but for transferring your purpose with a disciplined approach to your customers or internal colleagues, or if you are an executive, to your employees. Because knowledge should have a vision. Doesn't mean that it's perfect. No, at least blurred. You can design and find the purpose that help you to study
Yeah.
and be curious.
Yeah.
In the last 4th assignment, I remember that I spent a lot of time looking for something different because I wanted to create a framework, a model. This happened after 2 years. You know why? Because now, what does it mean to create a framework? Then, with some colleagues, alone, independently, and so on. Now I created 2 models. I don't know if they will be successful, but I put in the codes. That is the purpose that's pushed me to read.
Yeah.
Went, oh, it was already a massive quantity of readings and references.
Fantastic. Thank you very much, Luca. It's been a real
Pleasure
pleasure. It's been a real pleasure talking with you and
for me. Same.
hearing your reflections on the program and on the future of AI and the business as it goes forward. So thank you very much for sharing your
Thank you
time
for
with
the
us.
opportunity, George. You know, Now, apart from this video, you know that a piece of heart is with the York St. John University because of the things that I spoken earlier. So always a pleasure.
That's great. Thank you very much.